Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Kottabos Space Program, and today we are going to be back around the orbit of Kerbin, and that is because I'm wanting to try something today that I know for a fact I haven't done on camera yet, but I'm not entirely sure if I've actually done it, though, off camera, long before I started recording things. And that is try and get something into geostationary orbit. Now, I think I did it long ago in my early days of playing Kerbal Space Program. Long before I just kind of ended up giving up on it for a while. And, well, I would like to try and do it, because I think it'd be quite interesting. And with the hopefully soon-to-be-coming update, we're going to have all sorts of new science equipment, and I would love to put some geostationary satellites into space for scientific purposes. Like some weather satellites and things like that, or, my RP way of saying, hey, yeah, this is a weather satellite, yeah, that's it, sure. So, I would like to figure out exactly what we need to do to get into geostationary orbit, and to do that, are those clipping into the ground? I think they are. I need to fix that. But yeah, to do that, I've made this little ship. Now, it's a horrible, and ugly-looking satellite, but it's just something I threw together real quick so that we can try and get into geostationary orbit. Now, from how heavy this is, or really how light this top geosat is, quote-unquote, I think we might actually be able to get, if not into geostationary orbit, very close just on these sections down here in total. I think. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I think. And then this section up here with a nuclear engine will be for minor changes, I hope. Oh, we need to bring the apoapsis down a bit, or bring it up, or blah, 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 blah. So, hopefully, that's how it all works out. And once it is in orbit, my thinking for this satellite is kind of as a test for the future science stuff that will come in the new update. Oh, I cannot wait for that. Yeah, my thinking for this is that it's a test satellite for scientific purposes. So we've got a lot of batteries down here to simulate what will probably, I don't know this for sure, but scientific equipment tends to be kind of heavy. And so I'm thinking, these batteries should be a simulant of sorts, and then plenty of power with this stuff, and then what few scientific instruments we have now. And one of the parts about the new update for the science system will be you actually have to get that science information back down to the planet. And you can either do that by returning Kerbals back to the planet to do mission reports, or using communication arrays to actually transmit the stuff back to the surface. So not only will science have a use, but so will communication stuff. It won't just be aesthetic anymore. It will actually have a use, and that makes me happy. So yeah, this is sort of my simulant for the hopes. If I can get this thing up there in geostationary orbit with some science and power and comms gear, we should be good for when the new update comes out. That's my thinking. Whether or not that will prove to be accurate, I don't know. But we'll find out here today. So I am going to double-check my order and make sure I've got everything in my action groups correctly with all the solar arrays and the communitrons and whatnot. So yes, I will see you guys once we are over there on the launch pad and ready to go. Okay, and we're back on the launch pad, and I just had to fast forward time a bit because it was the middle of the night. So, well, actually it was like dusk, but I had to go through the middle of the night to get to, I think we're at somewhere around midday now. Yeah, close enough. And yeah, we've got no Kerbals to wish well for the mission, so let's just get this thing going in 3, 2, 1, and lift off. Alright. I didn't turn my headphones down. I can't hear a thing. Well, I can hear a lot of things, but if I don't turn down my sound, I will not be able to anymore. That is one thing with this game. Oh, the sounds. They are loud. Okay, ooh, I need to drop those. I was not paying attention to my fuel. Well, that is awful staging, and, well, they exploded, so... oh well. At least we saw a cool thing go boom. Alright, my fuel seems to be separating, or going down quite evenly right now. I'm happy about that. Not very wobbly today, so that is certainly a plus. We are kind of rotating, though, but... which I don't know why. This rocket tends to do that for some reason. But, oh well, oh well. We're still flying, and it's not wobbling apart, so I'm pretty happy. Alright, let's get to my 90-degree point, and right as I say that, it starts to wobble. Oh, I need to stop talking, because, you know, then things may not happen. But, okay, so I'm going to get us up to about 100,000 meters, and then we will circularize and go from there. I think that will be a good plan. Normally, you know, we stop between 75 to 100,000 meters. It seems to be a good sort of starting point for our missions, so just stick with what we know works. And there we go. 102, but that's good enough. Let's get that nav node on there. Bring it out. Whoa, there we go. 126. That's too much. Bring that down. 103, 89. Whoop. Other way. Okay, so that's 90 and 100. There we go. That's good. I can work with that. And, oh, since I didn't actually forget RCS this time, I just chose not to put it on because we've been dealing quite well without RCS, so I've just kind of given up on putting it on here at this point. I really should. I know that I should, but it's always the last thing on my mind, and so I just let it go. Especially since, you know, the ship can sort of roll itself pretty decently anyways. I mean, at this stage, with all the fuel and engines we've got behind us, it's, you know, it takes a bit more to move around, but once we shed some weight, it goes pretty nicely, and so I've never really saw the point of putting in RCS. For the most part, it is, if you're going to be docking, yes, of course, you need RCS, but for these sorts of missions, either way, really. Okay, so we're not going to get much more fuel out of these two engines, so that 25 seconds... I'm betting's probably going to turn into like 40 or 50. So I think maybe at the, I don't know, maybe the 25-second mark, we'll start our burn. I think that might be good. And yeah, we'll have to lose those pretty quickly, because that is not much fuel left. That's only like a tiny little sliver. But hey, it'll help us get a little further. I was actually hoping we'd have a little bit more fuel in that stage, but I did mess up my staging earlier, and we lost a bit of fuel because I forgot to release that first stage. And another explosion. Yay. Alright, okay, so yeah, my estimate was kind of close there. I'm happy about that. That is a good thing. When the estimated burn works, it's a wonderful thing. Okay, so we've got about 20 seconds left on that. Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to release those other polar satellites. I keep meaning to do that, but I forget. Oh well, 3, 2, 1-ish. There we go. A little bit more, but it'll work. Okay, and what we're gonna do... Oh man, we are about 1 minute 49 seconds away from this point. I wonder if that's enough time to get this out there. Ooh, that's not bad. Let's lower it a bit. Because yeah, what you... according to the wiki, the geostationary orbit is at about 2,868.75 kilometers, and so that should put us roughly there, and we can adjust from that point. But apparently, from what I've read of other people that have gone into geostationary orbit, it can be a bit more, typically, and even sometimes a bit less, apparently. So it's kind of a give or take. The better way to do it, from what I have been told by a few people that I asked on the issue, is that the better way to figure it is, if you're at your apoapsis, you should be 3 hours from your periapsis, and vice versa, because Kerbin has a roughly 6-hour rotation. So if you're 3 hours away from each of your points here on your orbit, that should be what you want. I mean, that'll give you that 6 hours, and that should be good. Hopefully. So that's what I'm shooting for. I'm going to get us roughly to the point that the wiki says we should be at, and then we will adjust from there and try to get that T-minus 3 hours point, and I think that will be good. And I'm debating whether or not to just fast forward through this, because it may take a little while. But then again, if I fast forward, this may be a very short episode, because this is really all I had planned for today. I just wanted to test this out, because I'm hoping, I don't know if it is or not, but I'm hoping that the new update is going to come out next week. That would be glorious if it did. So that's why I'm wanting to test this today, to sort of prep myself. But who knows, it may not. I'm hoping it does. I really, truly do. But, I wouldn't hold my breath, because you never know, you never know. I don't want them to release something that isn't quite finished yet. You know, I'd rather them wait a little bit until it is exactly what they want to release. I am perfectly okay with waiting a little while. Alright, so that'll be a good starting point. Okay, so we're moving quite slow at the moment, but that, well, actually we're not. I mean, we're going 2,800 meters per second. But still, yeah, you know, we've got to make this a loop out there, so let's fast forward ourselves. That's really only going to be an 11-second burn? That's impressive. Okay, so at about the 6-second mark, we will burn. And, ooh, okay. Had a little frame drop there while I was trying to fast forward. That's never a good thing. I don't want to overshoot this. I mean, we can always do another loop, but still, I mean, that's just, what's the fun in going around over and over trying to get the right point you need? Alrighty, so, okay, get ready to slow down time here. Because apparently all Kerbals are Time Lords. Okay, 5 minutes. Well, still a little too far away. Alright, 4. Come on, I really don't want to overshoot this, even though it's a 5-second burn, so even if we do overshoot a little, it's not really going to make that much of a difference for how short of a burn it is. Now, yeah, a longer burn, yeah, that would definitely cause some potential issues, but yeah, shouldn't be bad. Okay, let's put it to 2x, or, well, 5x. And there we go. Oh, God, actually, I should have... Ah, crap. I didn't even think about that I wasn't facing the right way. We need to turn the craft. Okay. I've got 5 seconds to do this. Let's rotate around. Oh, I should have paid more attention. Okay, so we are going to overshoot a little bit. Let's just start our burn. What the heck? And... Ooh. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and... Okay. Whoa, okay. I wasn't paying attention to that way. Okay, so it got a little wonky. Well, that was my fault. Totally my fault. Okay, now what we're gonna do is... What is that final... Oh, you know what? Let's just ditch this stage. There we go. Power up that nuclear engine to push us away a tad. Bye-bye. See you later, fuel. And yeah, you know what? Even though we are going to have to be doing a little bit more maneuvering, I think we're good for opening up all of our stuff. So there's all of our solar panels, our somewhat creepy-looking communication array with spikes. Oh, this thing is hideous, but It shall serve its purpose. Alright, now we have enough power. Well, we'll always have enough power. And yeah, you know what? I am going to fast forward because this is probably going to be me orbiting multiple times to fiddle perfectly with the orbit. So yes, I will bring you all back in a moment. Okay, bringing you guys back now, because we are at a little bit over what I was hoping for the apoapsis and the periapsis, but we are at about that 3-hour mark that we're supposed to be at. I mean, we're T-minus 30 seconds there, and yeah, T-minus 3 hours and roughly 40 seconds, so I'm intrigued. What way is the planet? There's the planet! Oh, God, we're right in the way of the sun. Okay, let's face towards the planet, and with the sun there, it's gonna be kind of hard to tell if we are actually in geostationary orbit. So let's fast forward. I think we're just a little bit out of geosynchronous orbit, just a tad bit. Maybe? Or maybe not. Maybe because of, we're facing that way, so it's... I don't know. Oh, we really need to get around the other part of the planet so we can see better. Because, yeah, the ship is going to keep facing that way, so if I just follow it like this, yeah, it's going to be an issue. As it'll eventually look like we're rotating anyways. So I'm going to have to kind of try and follow the planet, I guess? Since we can't... it's one of the problems with the new SAS system, and it's locking, though it actually is locking the way I'm pointing, so that's probably a horrible, horrible lie on my part. But you know what? I think we may actually be perhaps a tad bit off, but we might actually be in, or very, very close to geostationary orbit. It's kind of hard to tell. Because this is rotating around. I wish I had MechJeb installed right now, because you can lock it in position facing towards the planet. I cannot with this, but I actually do think we are, because whenever I'm facing this way, that distance between that landmass and the sort of horizon there, or, well, actually, I don't even know if that's the right word, the edge of the world seems to be fairly equidistant. I really wish I could lock this in place there. Why won't you stay there? But yeah, I think we may actually be. The only problem is this is going to keep facing that way, so we're moving off of that point down here on our nav ball, where we are actually facing directly at the planet. But look, the distance between that landmass and that part of the planet seems to be fairly constant, and we are looking at this large landmass here, so I think we may have actually done it. We may still be a little bit off, perhaps. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we've got a damn good orbit. Oh man, yeah, I think this might be as good as we are going to get, but I think we may have actually done it, because yeah, we are continuing to see this landmass, and at any other orbit we should either be looking at the ocean by now or the other landmass. So I think this is it. Maybe. Again, it's kind of hard to tell since I can't keep this darn thing locked at looking at the planet. I swear, I really wish I could. But even if we did have RCS on here, that's not going to help, because it's going to lock us in the orientation we're at, but of course we're going around the planet, so our orientation towards the planet is going to be constantly changing as we're rotating. So we are technically staying in the same direction, but we're moving around the planet, so it looks like that. But yeah, I actually think we are good, as we've done about well, about a half an orbit or so, and we're still seeing, you know, this ocean here, this landmass, so I think we're good. I'm going to call it. We've done it. So, the final tally for this, we have about 2,871 kilometers, 2,876, and we're at an orbital velocity of 1,007.5 meters per second. So that seems to have gotten it. Again, we may be a tad bit off. Like, if we did yeah, actually, let's do that. Let's speed way the heck up and do a couple of rotations around the planet. Not trying to stay on target, and hopefully this will... If we then do this a few times... La-da-da-da, and then slow it down. Yeah, I think we did it. There we are. That is the landmass again, with the ocean. Same one we've been looking at the whole time. So, yeah, that was, what, 4 or 5 orbits around the planet, and we're still facing this continent. We did it, guys! I am ecstatic about that. That is wonderful. So this is going to be a good baseline for our future scientific satellite array that I plan on putting up once the new update comes out. I want to build up as much science as possible, so I'm going to keep on throwing up satellites into geostationary orbit, and we're going to call them, you know, weather satellites or something like that. It'll be good. It'll be wonderful. We'll build a nice network of them with some good communication arrays. It'll be lovely. Ow. Actually, I want to get a better look at that somewhat hideous-looking communication array. I mean, oh man, it is kind of fugly. But still, I have a soft spot in my heart for it. Okay, let's... There we are. Kind of odd controlling it backwards. Okay, there we are. Glorious. Let's take away the HUD. And yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. We are in geostationary orbit in preparation for the new update, which I'm hoping will come within a week, maybe 2. They did release a trailer for it, so I'm thinking that that's maybe a, you know, prelude to, hey, it's going to be coming out soon. It may not be, though. It could be a month away for all I know. So, but just in case it is coming up soon, we have successfully put a satellite into geostationary orbit, or Kirby stationary orbit. I've heard all of them. I'm going to stick with geostationary orbit, though, because the others kind of sound weird. So, yeah, and eventually we'll put up science satellites into this sort of orbit so we can collect a whole lot of wonderful, wonderful science to send back for research. But yes, I hope you all have enjoyed this episode, and that you come back for the next, where we'll be doing something else in space. Most likely related to science, and hey, if the new update comes out, we'll be taking a look at that. So, thank you for watching, and as always, my friends, have a good one.